Ladies and gentlemen, go get your shoes. Like, get them now before we come back, because we're about to tie shoes in a way that will blow your mind out of your socks.
Shoelaces!
I knew all about shoelaces and I knew all about knots, and now it was time to bring the two things together. Tying shoelaces into knots, and I said there's only one man I want to speak to about this. His name is Professor Shoelace. I've been obsessed with him for 2 years. He lives in Australia. And we did it. We paid him money. He came to visit me. I was excited. Professor Shoelace's real name is Ian. He runs the world's leading website about shoelaces. And from the moment he landed on our shores, Professor Shoelace went to town diagnosing American shoelace problems.
I think you might be tying a granny knot.
Oh!
You've made it even worse by doing the big double knot thing over the top.
Guys, you need to go get your shoes, because you're basically about to have a private shoelace consultation with Professor Shoelace. That's awesome. Usually what I do is the double knot.
Now I can see a problem even before that double knot. Notice how it's sitting crooked? That's sitting along the shoe. Normally, nicely tied knot will sit neatly across the shoe.
What was I doing wrong, and what did I have to learn to tie my shoelaces correctly?
Now, to create a starting knot, we put the left end over the right end and pull it through.
Up and through, yep.
Okay?
If you can't do a starter knot, you need to go turn in your feet to the post office and let someone else in the United States wear your feet. But it's the next part that's tricky. First, he showed me what I'm doing wrong.
I created a right loop and went round the front of the loop.
Oh, that looked familiar to me. That might
Pulled
be
it
what I'm
through.
doing. And look,
That's sitting crooked.
If your starter knot is left over right and your loops are also left over right, you're gonna wind up with an unbalanced knot, and that's your granny's knot, or granny knot. She's unbalanced, like your granny.
If I created a right loop and I ran around the back and pulled it through,
yeah.
that creates a nice symmetrical knot. Now the
Right.
difference is one of them is a left over right and the other one's a right over left.
So because a properly tied shoelace knot is symmetrical, balanced, it stays tied with tension. And when you undo it, when you capsize it, it's like, yeah, no problem, man. And then it falls apart and you can take off your shoe. If your starter knot is left over right, your finishing bow should be right over left. Anyone who's tying their shoes with a double knot is a fraud. Like, we know now that they don't know what they're doing. Because if they tied their shoe correctly, they wouldn't need a double knot.
Exactly.
Once I was in shoelace mode, I started seeing problems everywhere. Maggie, come over here. I was noticing these from across the room, Professor Shoelace. How many yards long are these shoelaces, Maggie? Looks like a ball of yarn took a dump on her foot. Come on now.
Don't get me started on the lacing. There's better ways.
Hold on a second. It's not just about tying your shoelace, it's also about the lacing. I mean, lacing techniques? I'd never even thought about lacing techniques.
There's 100 ways of lacing shoes.
So I thought, as long as we flew him over here, what should happen is Professor Shoelace and I should just go on an adventure out in the world, and he can show me how to optimize my lacing techniques for different situations I might be in. That's exactly what we did. So I wake up in the morning, I slept on my arm funny, my arm doesn't work. I can only use one arm to tie my shoe. Can it be done? Only one man knows the answer, and that man's name is Professor Shoelace!
David, what's your problem, man?
He came into my bedroom and he helped me.
Tie a stopper knot with this end. Now pull it through,
Pull the line all the way
all the way through until
Stopper
it
knot
stops.
activated.
Done.
I've stopped the knot. The line has stopped. My name is the stopper knot. Bing, bong, bang.
Good. Right, cross over the top.
Now this is like normal crisscross lacing right now.
Yeah, well, we're cheating a little bit at the bottom, but that's good enough.
Okay. And we topped it off with a one-handed knot.
It's asymmetrical, but it's functional. Now you're ready for action.
I'm ready for a wonderful day. I love to ride my bicycle around town. I have a blue bicycle. And I wanted to know, is there a way I can tie my shoes so I don't have to worry about the shoelace getting all caught up in the chain? Only one man knew the answer.
Dun, dun, dun. We can just start with what we call hiking, biking, lacing. Okay, now we run both of them across and in through the adjacent ones.
Oh, whoa, they're both winding up on the same side of the shoe. The key is to start by lacing perpendicular to the shoe rather than parallel to the shoe. and then go straight across and up without ever crisscrossing the laces. So now, my knot,
Is going to sit on the outside. It's not going to get tangled in your chain.
now all I have to say is, later for y'all. I like swinging on swings and jumping out of the swings in midair. But one time when I was a kid, I did it and I like turned my ankle. Is there a special shoelace technique that would protect my ankles? Only one man knew the answer.
David, my man, we're on the swings. Cool stuff. What are we doing today?
Give me a second. Like if I land, I don't want my ankles rolling around.
Definitely. What we need is the type of lacing that paratroopers use. We are going to relace those shoes with what we call ladder lacing.
Start at the bottom and go up one eyelet. Then twist the laces around each other and go up another eyelet on the other side. Repeat until done. I can already feel how secure this lace is. Every level is locked. I like that. Shoelaces, amazing shoelaces, they're in the house.
Shoelaces!